Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Talking Reds. And Liverpool are still top of the Champions League, still top of the league. 4 wins out of 4 in the Champions League after beating Leverkusen convincingly last night. I do apologise if I want a match reaction last night. Unfortunately, none of us were free to do the match reaction, but we are going to talk about it in this live stream right now with me and Reese, and we're going to discuss reaction to last night's convincing win in the end. Despite the poor first half, we did come out trounced Xabi Alonso's Leverkusen in the second half. And the reaction from Liverpool fans is that of delight, but the reaction of rivals is pure bitterness. And I can taste the bitterness like a fresh lime out of a grocery store right now, because Jason Cundy last night on that radio show he presents was not happy. And he did a co-hosting thing with Jamie O'Hara. And he basically says Liverpool are starting to annoy me now. And this is because Liverpool keep winning and winning and winning. Obviously, the draw against Arsenal and the loss against Manchester Forest are only points we have dropped this season, but we won every single game by those two. Even got to the point where Justin Cundy was crying about You'll Never Walk Alone and how good of a song it is. And he don't like Sky Sports talking about it, being like, and hushing everyone to make sure we can hear it. He got really, really bitter, and I could taste the salt. And Jamie O'Hara was not letting him get away with it, really, because Jamie O'Hara, end of the day, is respecting what Liverpool are doing and respects the song as well. So we are going to talk about Liverpool's season so far, and especially the Champions League and last night's result as well. Reese, how does it feel that these rivals have so much saltiness, so much bitterness? We went through years of this with say Manchester United and Chelsea and Arsenal. It feels good, doesn't it?
It feels great. To be fair, it's what's to be expected when you're a big club, you know. But when you think deep, majority of clubs, it's been like this for years. Obviously, certain rivalries you can understand. Liverpool, Man United, the two most successful teams in England. Liverpool and Chelsea have their own rivalry as well, because you had the Mourinho and Benitez era, and then where it first started, where you had when they were both going for top 4 when Chelsea first kind of come onto the scene properly, and then when they got top 4, Abramovich bought them, I think, the following season, and then the rest is history. Among the rest of us, before that, they weren't really. They were non-existent, to be fair, personally. But it don't really bother me. If anything, I just carry on and go about my day. I'm just happy that Liverpool are doing well. It's exciting times right now, and a lot like the guy you were just talking about. I don't really watch TalkSport because, like I said,
I just saw a clip. I don't really watch that.
Yeah, not all of them.
It was just a clip.
I'm not even going to say no names. Not all of them, but I'll say some of them. For people that have played the game, ex-pros, it's like their narrative. You can either see it's either waffle because
it's waffle.
They have no idea about or B, it's because they're paid by TalkSport, so they're coming with a narrative, or they maybe just want to be the villain. So I don't know.
I'm not a fan of Channel. I don't think a lot of Reds are fan of Channel because of certain connections. But again, I saw the clip online. I thought, you know what, I'm enjoying this bitterness from rivals, and it's nice to be on the other side, because we've had 30 years. I've never seen us win the Premier League title in my lifetime. So the amount of not hate, but the amount of bitterness I had towards Man United and Chelsea. I wasn't like this, where I'm literally crying on channels or on whatever on mainstream media. But it really, we suffered for those years. It's just nice to have rivals look at you, and that's when you are serious. That's when you are being serious now, is where other rivals are like, yeah, this is pissing me off now. It's you can watch your rivals win, but when they win after win after win, and it starts to bug rivals, and they start to hate on you because of it, that's when you're doing good.
100%. What
do you think of last night's game then? Obviously, first half was dreadful. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. First half was absolutely dreadful. In fact, I think Tsimikas got lucky with Frimpong getting the handball. It wasn't handball. It wasn't handball, but Tsimikas was very lucky. I don't know why he was looking for. Was he looking for something? Was he looking for Robbo or something? Because he wasn't looking at the ball. Anyway, no. Tsimikas had a good game. But
minus that, yes, it could have been he would have been in. It would have been his mistake. By the end of the day, it was a handball, man. I really.
Yeah, it was an handball. Yeah, it was.
At the end of
Say
the
the
season, I gotta get you on the Simicast train, man, because I really think he's disrespected Simicast, man. I'm sorry, man, but
go back.
He's very underrated as a player. I'm sorry, man.
Go back 2 years, and I predicted like things for the season as an article, and I wrote about Simicast taking over Robbo. So I do like Simicast, but I just don't.
A lot of our fan base, they don't rate Simicast. Yeah. Like, how can you not rate it? I'm not saying he's the best left back in the world, but if you got to remember now, yeah, obviously the way we play is more suited, but with Robinson, obviously, yes, we know Robinson's going to go down as one of the best fullbacks of all time for Liverpool, but he's not just been on the decline now. He's been on the decline.
But he
never really got a look in because Klopp had his favourites. Whenever Simicast come in, and he'll play the first 10 games of a season and Robinson was injured, he would lie it up, and Robinson would come straight back in. And like I said, this is no slander on Robinson. I rate Robinson as well, but obviously he's on the decline now. But yeah, this is more me just kind of sticking up for Simicast. I get it. Especially going forward, defensively, I say he's decent defensively, but going forward, like I said, for me, he doesn't really get the credit. A lot of the time, people keep saying we need a new fullback, whereas it's like you got Simicast there. If anything, we'll have to see what happens in it. But
I'm just thinking. I think regarding new fullback and new left back, I think everyone thinks like you sort of think prime Robbo. You need that level. And I don't think Simicast are going to ever get that level. It's a very good squad option.
Yeah, but the way we play now, it's different. So you
still need that level of player, though. If that makes sense. It might be a different kind of player, but level.
For me, unless you give him a chance, and you got to give him a whole season, not 10 games. Robinson's had 3 or 4 seasons, or 5 seasons. So for me, Simicast is getting small sample size, and then he's coming out the team, and then remember he hasn't, and then remember he's not in form. And when he does come in, he's cold, and people expect him just perform straight away. It doesn't work like that. You need to be playing regularly. So for me,
I hope he does keep his place because, like I said, second half he improved. I think the whole team improved second half. So I do hope he does keep his place at the weekend, Simicast. So going the first half, did it worry you the first half? Because again, we couldn't create anything. We went to long range shots.
It didn't worry me because it wasn't just us who was bad. Bayer Leverkusen were bad.
Both of me, yeah.
The first half was pretty poor, pretty dry because very pragmatic. Both teams kind of playing the same way, slow build up, and it kind of suited them more in a way because they're away from home, and also I think they changed their formation for us. I think they played a back 4 where usually they play a back 3 as well. But yeah, it was quite. The passing was too slow from us. It wasn't quick enough. In moments we did it quick, but then it was like when we did, it's either the pass was overhit or the final third, the final product just wasn't coming off. But yeah, it was quite. I still thought we was gonna win, but I did not see us winning 4-0. I wouldn't say that's a fair reflection. I just think second half, it's like
it's that moment, a bit like Brighton game, wasn't it?
Our season's like a tale of 2 halves. It's like we have a half where we're average, and then we have a half where we turn up. We just need to try and find a way to get it where it's the whole game. But
luckily teams aren't punishing us for it though, which obviously Brighton did in the first half on Saturday. But again, we came back in those 2 minutes against Brighton.
That's the only thing we're getting lucky with as well, because they had, I think when it was 2-0, they had a header that went just over the bar, free kick, but it looked like a free header. I thought,
I
thought that was a goal.
They had a couple of chances. I think Frimpong were playing well on the right. I think Verts were getting in spaces. Boniface a couple of times tried stuff, but he's not really. But there were moments in that first half where we're like, yeah, they could have got a goal there.
So Verts was decent first half. Didn't do much second half, but I wouldn't say he had a terrible game. I just think he couldn't get into the game properly because we kind of just took over beside the fans. And then once we scored, and then we started picking things up, quickening the pace. And then, well, you know kind of how Liverpool are when they kind of get on a roll. It's like a steam train. So
going forward, Reece, Arne Slot saw something last night. He saw obviously Jonathan Tah on the other team thinking he'd rather defend against Nunes. He stuck Diaz up front. Harmony said he wouldn't mind seeing Diaz up front again yesterday in the match preview. And it worked. It did work last night again, where that through ball from Curtis Jones, by the way, let's just put this out. That through ball from Curtis Jones was sensational, and the delicate lob over the keeper from Diaz was just world class. That set off the spark of Liverpool, and that was it. Then once the spark were lit, the fire kept burning, and goal after goal after goal after goal. 4 goals in the space of 20, 30 minutes.
No, quality. It was quality. Diaz up front, I think that was a genius bit of tactics, because obviously when you heard why Slot played him up there, you can tell tactically we've got someone who's a tactician here, like, as well as the style of play. But for him to say he already knows, he's kind of watched him. So that shows you from Germany what he's used to. Because in my head at first, when we were struggling in the first half, I was like, we need Nunes, someone a bit more physical, because it kind of wasn't coming together. But second half, you see why it paid off, and he obviously told the team to pick up the pace, try and press them, move the ball a bit quicker. I think that was genius tactics to play Diaz. That for his reason why to play Diaz instead of Nunes. I think that was genius.
I think it's a genius thing anyway, because all 3 are firing cylinders right now. Gakpo, Diaz, Salah. So if there's any way you can get them all in, then please do, because we're going to talk about Nunes a little bit further on. So he came on and did a little bit of what Nunes does. But these 3 right now, would you continue these 3 as a front 3? Because fucking fire, the rod is hot.
Right now, I would keep the 3 as well. Yeah, I would keep the 3. And we're at home as well. I would keep that 3. Yeah, because they're very mobile. When I was speaking to my dad when I was watching the game, parts of the game yesterday, he said to me, or I said to him, they're all really. You see how Klopp used to play, where we had Mane, Bobby, and
Salah,
yeah. Because they're all mobile, they're all used to rotate and
swap in there. That's what I'm thinking. That anyway.
In the first half, we weren't doing that. That's what I wanted us to do, because it gives the defenders more to think about. If they're thinking, next minute it's Cody, next minute it's Diaz, it's kind of hard to deal with, because you can't get used to one particular person. You're having to get used to someone else's attributes now.
You can't get in momentum, can you? No.
They're all very mobile. They all have pace. They all have trickery. They're not one-dimensional. So,
and they can all play pretty much across the front 3. I mean, Salah's played up front. I know he's not played on left, but he's played up front. Diaz has played on any side. Gakpo's played on any side. So they are quite interchangeable.
Yeah, I would keep that 3 and bring Nunes on. Ideally, if we're winning the game comfortably. If we're not winning and we need to change the game, then bring Nunes on. If you need maybe someone to hold the ball up or to cause a bit of chaos, which is kind of what Nunes does, a bit more physical, then yeah. But I would keep that 3 right now. That team that played with Curtis in the 10, the only position I might switch is McAllister. Because I don't know if we want to talk about that, but he seems like he's in a poor form.
Let's talk. We're not going to hide things on this channel, Reece. You know me. I'll speak the uncomfortable conversations. McAllister wasn't really hitting last night, and he hasn't done in the last few games. He got brought off against Brighton.
I think
is it tiredness, or is it just?
I think it's a mixture. I think there's tiredness, but it can't all be tiredness. We do have to give some constructive criticism, and I do think he's just not playing well. I think if he is going to play, give him a rest, and then for me, at least 2 games. And when I mean rest, I mean he doesn't come on off the bench, but it looks like Slot is dependent on him. So we'll see. I would swap, even though Szoboszlai hasn't been great. I would put Szoboszlai alongside Gravenberch, because off the ball, what Szoboszlai offers in terms of pressing, running, closing down, but obviously on the ball, he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. Curtis Jones is kind of doing what Szoboszlai needs to do, especially with that pass yesterday. So that would be my only tweak. The back line would stay the same: Tsimikas, Trent, Konate, Virgil, and then Kelleher. But yeah, I do think I would drop him, but obviously we'll see what Slot does on the weekend, because we are still winning, so he might decide, I'll play him. So what do you think?
It's an interesting conundrum, isn't it? Because we haven't really got the depth that we need in terms of midfielders. Curtis Jones is a very good backup. Harvey Elliott, when he comes back, that's nice. And Martin and Endo after that, really. It's not amazing squad depth. And this is the problem when we're going to get, where if McAllister's dropped off or is needed a rest, there's no one really to push to keep him on his toes. But, Curtis Jones really. And I'm glad Curtis Jones is stepping up to this, because this is what we wanted. We need players. We need a bit of a better squad depth behind to keep these players on the toes, and we can't allow for drop-offs. It's gonna be a long season, mate. It's gonna be a long season. We're in November now. The Christmas period is coming up, where it's the busiest time, and this is where we need the squad more so than any time, and that's where I worry regarding keeping up with what we need to be doing. Obviously, we're not going to win every single week. Don't expect us to win every week, but to stay up there in the title race is what we need. We need this squad right now, and this is the hardest time. It's a shame that McAllister's hitting that now.
I hear where you're coming from. Me, I'm not really trying to worry. I'm not really trying to think about if something goes wrong. I'm not trying to think too deeply. I'm just enjoying what's happening right now because we seem to be surprising everyone. Everyone wrote us off. Obviously, it's still early in the season, and I'm not saying everything's done. It's still very much to play for, but I'm just taking it a game at a time. Every time there's an obstacle, we seem to be finding a way to knock it down. So long may that continue. And then when we get to January, we'll see if they back Slot. Right now, it's similar with the contracts as well. I'm not trying to stress about that. We can't really do much about it. Obviously, we can talk about it as content creators, but we're not in control of that. Right now, the team's doing what they're supposed to be doing on the field, and long may it continue for me. It's very exciting.
I think it's very good that what's happening on the field is sort of distracting from what's happening off the field, because
100%.
If it wasn't going well on the field, I can tell you now, spaces like this or channels like this or whatever channels, other channels as well, and spaces on social media, it'd be in
of course
a different kind of mindset, and especially there'd be more talk about the contracts. I think
you might have heard more cryptic messages from the one or two or Virgil Mo or Trent. In terms of things weren't going well, you might have heard it, instead of messages of them saying they want to stay, you might have heard messages of kind of saying that this is
less cryptic. Yeah.
Because it's not, we want to leave now, like kind of thing, January, because it's not working out. So credit to Slot and the team.
And Slot's doing all they can.
Edwards and the team as well, for me, got to give them credit, because on socials right now, everyone's talking about Slot being the signing of the season in terms of as a coach. Obviously, we know he's not a player, but I said this the other day on our stream, Damon, that we've got to kind of give them credit, especially Edwards, for Slot, because no one kind of saw this coming. I know it's still early, but like I said, he's just going about his business, and every game he kind of surprises us with something else, kind of shows us that he's got more strings to his bow, that he's a really quality operator.
I'm very shocked that Edwards gets so much stick anyway, because at the end of the day, it's proven that he can do stuff with correct funds or correct things that has been given. You know, give him Coutinho, and he got Van Dijk, Alisson, Fabinho, and he got these players. So I think putting it on Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards as a big as a scapegoat is not the right way to do it. This is on FSG. This is no one else. It's on FSG. They're the ones that got a temporary manager in, a temporary sporting director in for a little bit. They're the ones that give Klopp the power. They're the ones that have kept their eye off the club. They're the ones that are not wanting to change wage bills. They're the ones that are not wanting to fund transfers. So for Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards to be scapegoats, I'm not having it. I'm not having it, because they're not. Michael Edwards has proven that he can capable of getting class when he's got a bit of backing behind him. He shouldn't have to sell a player to get that, by the way. But also regarding the players, you know, Slot's been thrown in a deep end big time. And I feel so bad for him. And it's what pisses me off is these journalists that asking Slot about it. What the fuck can Slot do? Slot's in, right? He's a coach. All he can do is coach week in, week out, day in, day out, what's going on the field. Everything off field's fuck all to do with him. He might have a little bit of say in transfers, but right now, in terms of contracts, why are they asking him? It's their job, lazy shit. That is not their job. That is shit journalism. It's shit.
But you're gonna get some of them who do that because they have a narrative, they have an angle. They did this.
They want clicks, don't they?
They'll ask you things that he's probably said before, and don't ask me about. You'll get one of them that's still cheeky, that's still a bit. They're gonna push. They're gonna try and push to see what they can kind of get. So I can't
believe they're asking Slot now about things going off behind, but for years they haven't asked FSG anything. That's what fucking gets me. I can't understand it. It's not the job. That's not their
FSG
job.
don't be doing interviews on a regular basis. So they kind of avoid it. They only do it if they have to, like when they have to do the something about saying
They've
sorry.
got to catch him one time a year.
When he did the sorry for the Super League, the brief one, because he kind of had to. If they don't have to, they've got loads of other people that work in front of them that they'll just get to handle the PR, the interviews, the promo, anything to do with Liverpool. You know what I mean? So,
Reece, if we lose those three and I see a sorry apology video, I swear I will blow. If we lose those three and I see an apology video, you can stick that apology video right where the sun doesn't shine. I swear.
We're not going to lose all three. I promise you that we won't lose all three. So hopefully, like I said, God willing, we keep all three, but we're definitely not going to lose all three, I don't think.
If we do lose all three, guys, at home, this is the channel that you want to be in for entertainment for the next month or so. If we do lose all three, because I ain't backing down. Second half, obviously, 4-0, cracking win in the end. Top of the league. Are we favourites for the Champions League, Reece?
No.
Oh, come on.
No, it's still early. Yeah, we'll be in and amongst the mix, but for me, the favourites has to be the holders, which is Real Madrid. Even though they're not playing well, they have this heritage where they find a way. Even though we've got heritage, they've got their number one with the heritage when it comes to Europe. For me, we're in and amongst it. I do think it's us, Barca, Bayern,
Man City,
and Real Madrid. I think that five at the minute are the five. Obviously, we've got to see if Arsenal can improve their form and then see what some of the other teams. But we'll be there and thereabouts, 100%. But I'm not going to say we're not favourites. We're not going to. For me, I'm not going to put my money on it to be like Liverpool to win it until in the later stages.
I think the team to watch out for me is Barcelona.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
The team to watch out. And the unknown, because the new manager, they've been down for a while now. They're getting back up now to where they used to be. They've finally got a talented team where they can build on. I think they're like a bit of an unknown.
It keeps disappearing. It's like on the top of the Barca manager. What's his name?
Flick. Is it Flick?
There we go, Flick. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, we spoke about it briefly. We might have to do some content, maybe talking about them a bit as well, a bit more, because the way they're playing, have you seen their high line, like the offside trap, kind of what they've been doing?
They're very, very, very well drilled right now.
I saw something. I think it might have been Twitter or a stream I was watching. Big up Copish. I think someone tweeted. They said the high line they've caught 100 offsides already. 100. They've barely played 10 games or something, and then they haven't even conceded a lot as well. And they've got so many good players in terms of the young talent. So I definitely think they're ones that they might. It's the early days, but they might be on the rise back up, I think.
And the league is starting to look a bit. I can't get excited for the league as such yet. I think the last two games of the league, I think it's going to be look a bit more. Hang on a second, because if Real Madrid is still out of the top 8, and Man City possibly out of the top, I don't think Man City will be, but if Real Madrid is still out of the top 8 and Bayern Munich is struggling still, they're going to have to win the last two games to get the top 8 and get through, because currently right now we're top. Aston Villa are up there, Sporting Lisbon are up there after beating Man City last night.
With ours now, what is that? Is that 3 straight wins, or is that 4 wins?
4 out of 4.
Wow.
4 out of 4. Bologna, AC Milan, Leipzig, and Leverkusen.
Because the format's changed now, how much do we need to qualify?
It's a top 8, so at the moment we're the only ones with 4 out of 4. Unless Villa win now again, so they're playing Club Brugge now. Yeah. If they beat Club Brugge away, they'll be joint top with us. And there's only 2 teams on joint top if that happens. I think Sporting Lisbon are on 10 points, so they've won 3, drawn 1.
Is everyone playing each other home and away as well?
No. It's just random fixtures.
So we've just got 4 games left, basically.
You got 4 games left. So we've got Real Madrid, PSV, Lille. I can't think of the other game is. I think the other game is. We've got the easiest games after Real Madrid. We've got the easiest games.
Yeah,
so if we get a point against Real Madrid, it's pretty much done.
No games easy in the Champions League. Some games
I know.
More straightforward, but I get what you mean. Obviously, Real Madrid's a big challenge in itself.
I think PSV would be a tricky one, but the fact that Slots played PSV for 2 years, 3 years running will help massively. So, yeah, Liverpool are currently favourites to win the league, But the Champions League itself, I think, Barcelona, Man City, Real Madrid have a big say.
saying
Bayern
that
Munich as well.
seriously?
I think it would be fair to win, come top. Yeah, we'll win at 4-4.
No, I thought you meant not that.
Man, about the
Premier
to come
League,
top of the Champions League.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
If
Oh no, Man City is still favourites at the league. Yeah,
it's too early for us to be favourites.
But long may it continue, guys. I mean, I'm in a different chat earlier. I was the Style Play podcast chat, and Basil has come on here as an Arsenal fan. Has come on here for preview and has come on for talking rivals as well. He basically said, "Is there any chat of quadruple yet?" I said, "Yeah, there'll be some stupid fans out there, some deluded Liverpool fans out there that will mention quadruple. But right now, we're just taking game by game, and that's how we should be taking. How he's taking things." But
yeah, sorry to interrupt you.
Go on. You're going to say that?
I'm sure Arsenal fans. Some of them said at the start of the season, Invincibles, or they said the quad or something. I'm sure they said that.
Yeah, well, you probably get Ty from AFTV probably saying something like that. I know Julian on FTV said Invincibles before the Bournemouth match.
I think that was bigger. I'm not sure it might have been.
It was Julian from AFTV because I spoke to Cecil about it.
Is that the only one? I'm sure there was a few. There might
have been. I definitely Julian from AFTV.
For now, I'm waiting and see. But I've got the receipts there for the end of the season. If
I know Cecil is keeping him accountable though for what he has said, because since then they haven't won a game. They lost the Bournemouth the game after, and then they haven't won since. So
yeah, I'm not talking about no quad for me.
No, we're not going to talk quadruple on here. Maybe if we're in the same situation in March, possible talk of quadruple, but we've been there, we've been burnt before.
When it's done, then you'll see me with you understand? You'll see me like this, Damon, so.
March time, mid-March, special quadruple episode with Reese is going to be posted on here on Talking Reds. But yeah, where do you guys see us watching at home? Where do you guys see us in terms of Champions League? Do you see us one of the favourites? Who's the team to beat in the Champions League, and can Arne Slot win in his first season? Right now, we're really enjoying it. Jason Cundy, thank you for your bitterness and your sadness going through this time right now. Rival fans, whether you are on TikTok, social media, I've seen loads of Man United fans, loads of Chelsea fans, loads of Arsenal fans throwing bitter out in the recent days and weeks. I'm enjoying it. I can't lie. I'm not. It's nice to react to these things because I am really enjoying this moment. I'm not saying we're going to win the league. I'm not going to say we win the Champions League. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, we're the best team in the world. Right now, we are playing like the best team in the world. But we've said it so many times already that football can change just in a click of a finger, and we could be in fourth in the matter of 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to be overly gassed and overly in your face about it, but we are enjoying it. We are relaxed right now. It's nice to be where we are because we've had decades of hurt, if I'm honest, decades of shite, decades of coming second, decades of not really challenging for things, and it's just nice to be considered as a threat again. One that we were in the 60s, 70s, 80s, one where my dad grew up watching us was a threat. Now we're a threat again in Europe, and teams that want us, do they, Reece? Really, European teams will not want us.
No, most teams won't. I think, but if it was me, I don't want too early. I wouldn't want Barcelona right now. Those other teams, I don't mind. I know, obviously, Real Madrid, I'll say, are still favourites just because they're Real Madrid and that heritage. But I'm looking forward to playing Real Madrid. For me, I am in a way. Actually, yeah,
I am in a way, but I'm still
a bit skeptical, which is understandable because our history against them has not been great. We haven't beat them. I think wasn't it since 2009 we beat them?
Well, too many scars, mate. Too many. We've been burnt too many times against them.
Yeah, when it was, I think we beat them over 2 legs. I think
when Gerrard we beat 4-0 Bernabeu.
And 1-0.
Sorry, 4-0 home. Yeah, 4-0 home.
1-0 at the Bernabeu.
Yeah, that was it.
But just how we're playing at the minute, I think, and with Slot seems to be adjusting each game tactics wise. So yeah,
I think that 4-0. I think about 4-0 Anfield. I think that was 2007 when we went to Champions League final the second time.
Yeah, it might.
I think it was. So Torres, Gerrard, wasn't it? Gerrard absolutely ripped him to pieces that night.
Yeah, Torres and Gerrard. Yeah, I remember watching the cameo.
Torres and Gerrard. Yeah, it was definitely. It must have been 2007 because we got to the final again against AC Milan. We lost that time, but we didn't have Torres in 2005, so it must have been 2007.
Yeah.
when we beat them 4-0. Yes, so that was the last time we beat them. We've played them a few times since, and we've been burnt so many times. So I'm excited for it, but again, I'm not like, can't wait to play Real Madrid. It's probably the perfect time to play them, but it's Real Madrid, and we have been burnt so many times against Real Madrid and hurt so many times against this team. Thank you. If you have watched tonight, if you are watching live or recording, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, notification bells on, because we do content every single day. Tomorrow is our live episode of Talking Rivals at 6:30 tomorrow night. So there'll be rivals coming on to speak about their progression or digression, if you talk about Man United. And we have got a Man United fan coming on, I think, next week. I don't think he can do tomorrow, but possibly next week. But we're going to talk about Man United as well tomorrow and have a little bit of a laugh to ourselves. But thank you for joining us tonight. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. See you tomorrow, guys, and have a great night. Thanks, Reese.